Okay, hello everybody. It's Mark Markson here, coming live from London, and
Keith coming to you live from Tokyo. Well, just outside of Tokyo.
Just outside. Yeah, we get it. How are you, Keith?
To be honest, I apologise to anyone. Well, there you go. I can't speak. It's a great start. I apologise if I seem out of it. I'm kind of in a food coma. I am stuffed after eating a huge Chinese meal with the lady.
So by the time we get to the end of the first round, you're probably going to be hungry again.
Yes. Yeah, I don't find that to be the case, but yeah. It's a good meal. It's good. But no, by the way, have I ever told you, so when looking for restaurants and stuff, like with my girlfriend, have I ever told you how she goes about this? So, by the way, in Japan, Yahoo is still really a thing. Like, everybody uses Yahoo. Yeah, so instead of searching, like just on Google, they love Yahoo. So my girlfriend, if we're looking for something, takes out her Android phone, which has Google Chrome in there by default, opens up Chrome, and of course, you know the top is a search bar, right? Goes there, searches for Yahoo, then goes to the Yahoo front page, and then in the Yahoo front page, goes to the search box and types.
So she uses the search engine she already has to search for another search engine to then search for something else.
Yeah.
Because isn't that like me getting my phone out and phoning the wife and asking her what the time is? When it's already on my phone anyway. Oh dear. Anyway, okay, so with that, for everyone watching at home, dim the lights, get a pen and paper out if you're writing down the answers, pour yourself a nice glass of wine or a cold beer, sit back and enjoy the next episode of Light Camera Quiz. As usual, the first round is general trivia, and this week's one is dedicated to all the fantastic doctors and nurses, paramedics, anyone who's on the front line. So this general trivia has kind of a medical theme running through it for the first couple of questions anyway, then I just go all over the place. So let's start with round number one as usual, which is general trivia. So, as I say, this has kind of a medical theme to it for the first few. So this is just general trivia. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about doctors and nurses. And then, like I say, I'll just go off on my own little tangent. So, Keith, and anyone else who is watching, in which film would you find the character of Nurse Ratched? Which film has Nurse Ratched? Okay, which actress starred in the 2000 movie Nurse Betty? Can you remember that one?
Possibly.
Yeah.
It's kind of blurring.
Yeah, it's a comedy film. Very famous actress starred in it. Okay, and who founded, or which doctor should I say, founded the Gesundheit Institute? Gesundheit being as in, bless you, sneeze. Gesundheit.
Sorry, is this a institute in a movie, or is it
a real institute? A real thing.
So, it's a little hint on this one. It's a real institute.
Yes.
This is in a movie.
Very famous doctor in a film.
Based around real people.
So, a very famous doctor founded the Gesundheit Institute, and there was a very famous film based on this doctor, who founded the Gesundheit Institute. And speaking of the word Gesundheit, which is German, I believe, for bless you.
I always thought it was thank you.
We'll check.
No, I'm joking, of course.
So speaking of Gesundheit, in the 1974 film The Taking of Pelham 123, which is about a bunch of guys who take over a train, demand the city for money, etc., etc. That film has one aspect of it that inspired a Tarantino film. Which film? And also you have to tell me why, or which aspect of it, because you could just guess a Tarantino film. So show your workings on this one. Which Tarantino film?
Show your workings.
And
Because I instinctively have a guess, which I thought was right up until you said that last part.
So, the taking of Pelham 123. There's one aspect of it that inspired something in a Tarantino film. Which film and why? You'll kick yourself.
Right.
And The Taking of Pelham 123 came out in 1974. Francis Ford Coppola directed a film with Gene Hackman in 1974. What was the name of the film? Do you see what I meant about veering off the nurse thing? Gesundheit, and then I just kind of...
yeah, wait a second. I thought this was... Also, sorry, can I just say here, am I the only one that thinks the way he says Pelham is really weird?
The Taking of Pelham 123. Pelham.
And maybe it was just a second ago. You were like, Pelham, the taking of Pelham.
Well, the reason I veered onto that one is because the bad guy gets caught because he says Gesundheit at the end and they get caught. Did you know that? If you can remember the film. So they're on the radios when the hostage negotiator's talking to him, the bad guy keeps sneezing and goes, Gesundheit. And at the end, when they've got all the suspects, one of them goes, Gesundheit. And they're like, I don't think that would stand up in court, but...
Sorry, again, massive amounts of rice. What was that question here?
So, do you want me to run through them all again? Okay, so the first one was, which film stars Nurse Ratched?
Yeah, okay, please.
Which 2000 film, which actress starred in the 2000 film Nurse Betty? Which doctor founded the Gesundheit Institute? Speaking of Gesundheit, in the film The Taking of Pelham 123, where they say Gesundheit several times, that inspired an aspect of a Tarantino film, name the film and why it inspired it, and that came out in 1974, which also was the year Francis Ford Coppola directed the Gene Hackman film. What was the film?
Alrighty.
Now it's time for the answers for general trivia. Let's just jump straight into these. So, number one, which film stars Nurse Ratched? That should be an easy one, Keith.
Yeah, I mean, because it's such a classic, isn't it? Are you ashamed, Mark, of asking such a classic?
Ah, right, okay, yeah.
Question? Yeah, that would be One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, yes,
yeah, and the ashamed thing was a reference. You got it?
Yeah, that was a reference, yeah.
With that mean...
Do you have a thing for nurses, Keith? That's quite a cliche thing, isn't it?
Well, I mean, let's face it, there is something about nurses that's...
Yeah, but Nurse Ratched, the actress, what was her name? Louise Fletcher. Do you think she's hot or not in that film?
I mean...
Okay, let's 1, 2, 3, okay.
Well, what do you
3, 2, 1, yes or no, is Nurse Ratched hot? 3, 2, 1, yes.
Hell no. Wait.
Which actress starred in the 2000 movie Nurse Betty?
So I don't know. This one is, I really feel is like, but it won't come to me who that person was.
Okay, it was Renee Zellweger.
Of course, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good film, very funny film. Yeah, all-star cast. Okay, number 3. Ooh, this seemed to have stumped you a little bit. Who founded the Gesundheit Institute? So it's a real doctor who founded it, and there was a very famous film based on this doctor.
And you're looking for the name of the doctor, or can I say the movie?
The name of the film is the name of the doctor.
Right. Jesus Christ. I've just done a Carl Pilkington, like, what are the things in Gremlins called? Sorry. Sorry, yeah. If the film is called Patch Adams...
Yes!
Presumably that's the doctor's name.
The doctor is Patch Adams. His actual name was Hunter Adams, I believe, but it is Patch Adams, yes. And Patch Adams famously founded the Gesundheit Institute.
The other day, this is living dangerously. Someone actually... So this is the first time I've ever seen this in my life. Someone sneezed and farted at the same time, and I must say, I was rather impressed.
I love how you started that with, this is a once in a lifetime thing. You know, like, you know, a baby being born or seeing a volcano erupting. He farted and sneezed at the same time. Wow, it's like his body took a screenshot of itself.
It would have been good if he actually had a noise going as well.
Okay, so speaking of Gesundheit, and thank you for that story, Keith.
You're very welcome.
In the movie The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, the bad guy is revealed because he says Gesundheit. Now, The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3 inspired a certain thing in a Tarantino film. Which film was it, and what was it that it inspired?
So, the answer is, I don't know, but I'm going to take a guess, and this is my thinking behind it. So, Gesundheit is like a very specific verbal tick, like using a very specific word, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. So it's maybe Inglourious Bastards, because like the whole thing... So rather than like using the wrong word, and it's a German word, you've got the thing with the three and the three and the three, like, and it's the wrong thing.
No. So did it... That's actually a very good... Very good thinking there. Good logic. Yeah, very good guess.
So do I get half a point for a good guess?
Absolutely not, because that's quite subjective. Is what is a good guess? But
another reason why I hate you.
But it was actually because in The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, when the bad guys take over the subway train, they disguise their real names by referring to themselves as colours. So you have Mr. Blue, Mr. Red, Mr. Orange, Mr. Yellow.
I can see where this is going.
Was inspiration for naming the characters after colours in the heist in Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah.
So the answer was Reservoir Dogs. The reason was because the characters are named after colours when they do their bank job. And speaking of the Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, which came out in 1974, Francis Ford Coppola directed a film starring Gene Hackman. What was the film?
It wasn't Superman 3 or 1.
Nope. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and stop right there. This is painful. It was The Conversation.
Alright, okay.
You know the one where he's got the headphones on and he's listening to a conversation for the whole film. It's not actually a great film.
Actually, it's ironically, that's kind of like what people are doing here.
Wow. Mind blown. Yes, they're listening to us having a conversation. So yes, it was a conversation. I say, not a great film. If you haven't seen it, it slips into the average category. Well, it's no Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Did you know, after the original book and the original film, it became an actual rule, like an actual official rule in New York, that they weren't allowed to schedule a train for 1:23. Because there was like a superstition around it, but it was more than a superstition. It was an actual rule, and that rule was in place up until fairly recently, but still, they won't schedule a train for 1:23. Did you even know that? You look confused.
Well, no, because it's not based on a true story, is it? So it's a story. It's fiction.
Well,
so
yeah, I know. Yeah,
real
so
superstition and paranoia, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I didn't realise...
Were you aware of that? The trains in New York?
I was aware that... I didn't realise that because over here you have like a number 10 bus or whatever. I kind of assumed that was always the same in New York. But then actually you realise it's the time of when it leaves. So it's Pelham 1, 2, 3, so that would be Pelham 1:23. If it left 2 minutes later, it would be the Pelham 1:25.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that for a long time.
Yeah.
But wow, so they wouldn't schedule
to this
anything.
day, yeah, so it's no longer a rule, but to this day people try to avoid that time. But for a while it was a legit rule in their actual rule book. In the Trainman's rule book. Wow. You know, the popular one that everyone loves to read.
Well, anyway, there we go.
Was that the end of this part?
So, it was. That was the end of our general trivia round. And now, so that was a little bit about nurses and sneezing.
Yeah, and farting.
The next one is about doctors, and it's called What's Up, Doc? Okay, so welcome to round 2, which is What's Up, Doc? And in this one, I'm going to name 5 doctors, okay, from movies, not real doctors. And all you have to do
Can you imagine
is tell
if you
me
did just name 5 real doctors? I'm going to name you 5 doctors who work in Great Yarmouth.
From my local area. From
Great
where?
Yarmouth.
I'm not in Great
No, but that would make it even harder, wouldn't it?
That's true, yeah. So, anyway, 5 doctors that appear in movies. All you have to tell me is what they're a doctor of. You with me, Keith? So what do they get their PhD in? Okay. So I'm not going to go with medical doctors. Imagine if they were all just medical doctors. This one's a paediatrician.
So, like, for example, Doctor Strange is not going to appear in here because that one was super obvious.
Oh, well done, Doctor Strange, isn't it? Imagine if it was.
Because they literally show him doing his job.
They do him, like, performing surgery.
And he was, like,
so we get
medical doctor thing.
Yeah.
So, you're going to get a little more funky.
Okay, so...
I guess.
Let's crack on. So, number 1, Dr. Indiana Jones. What was the little huh for?
Just, I don't know, because when you said it,
Dr. Indiana Jones.
I was like, because my thought process here is like, oh, that's bloody obvious, and then I was like, no, wait, hang on a second, and that was the huh.
Okay, number 2, Dr. Octavius. Dr. Otto Octavius. Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park.
I think I know that one because he's always banging on about it. Yeah.
Dr. Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park. What's he a doctor
Leather
of?
And black clothing.
And sexiness. Number 4, Dr. Evil.
Wait,
from the Austin Powers films.
Is he an actual doctor?
Well, he says in the film what he studied at university. Okay. But can you remember? And number 5, Dr. Moreau from the famous film The Island of Dr. Moreau. Yeah, number 1, Dr. Indiana Jones. Number 2, Dr. Otto Octavius. Number 3, Dr. Ian Malcolm. Number 4, Dr. Evil. And number 5, Dr. Moreau. Let's go straight to the answer for that one. Okay, so it's time for the answers for What's Up, Doc?
So, sorry, Mark, wait. I just have to interject there. I'm surprised. There's one, especially you, being you, there's one doctor I'm rather surprised is not on that list, which would be Doc Emmett Brown.
Dr. Emmett L. Brown. Yeah, he's not on there. Yeah. But see, I thought that was a bit of a tricky one because he says in Back to the Future 3, when asked what is he, what sort of scientist is he, and he says he's a doctor of all sciences. Which I think that's probably a bit unlikely, isn't it? So I thought I'd leave him out. And I thought if I do, I'll just get into my whole Back to the Future 3 rant.
Yeah.
Which
by the way,
I won't.
You know, Mark.
Which I won't just yet.
Yeah. Just yet.
I might come back to that.
I'm looking forward to hearing this again.
Okay, so number 1, Keith, Dr. Indiana Jones. What's he a doctor of?
Well, unless this is like some kind of trick question, it's obviously going to be something related to his job.
Yes. Which
is digging up old stuff and that.
Yeah.
Which I believe is archaeology.
It is archaeology. According to Wikipedia, it says he is a doctor of archaeology specialising in Egyptology. So if you'd have said Egyptology, I think that's a fair. I actually did. This is actually a genuinely true story. I signed up for a monthly subscription thing that I had to pay for, where they send you like a book about Egyptology.
I don't like where this is going to...
every week, yeah.
I thought this was going to...
It was a scam. Turned out it was a pyramid scheme.
Oh, Jesus. Sorry, did you just say all of that just to set that joke up?
I thought of the joke, but then I didn't think of the setup. So I thought, I've got to get a pyramid scheme joke in here somewhere. And I thought, how have I been scammed? Anyway, so in Spider-Man, Dr. Otto Octavius is a doctor of what?
I mean...
I thought this would be easy because you're a big comic book fan.
Yeah. But it's got to be something to do with physics. Or it's just physics. Or maybe like quantum physics or something.
It's nuclear physics, yeah. But yeah, physics. He's a physicist, yeah. Which is nuclear/atomic physics, so yeah, he's a physicist. Well done, if you got that correct. Number 3, one of my favourite characters of all time, is Dr. Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park. But what's he a doctor of?
Like I said, this one's got, again, I don't know this for a fact, but I think I can get it right just from an educated guess. Because as I said, he's always banging on about it, isn't he? The drops of water and it's all chaos, it's all
banging
chaotic
on about.
Yeah, he's always banging on about it.
The whole,
like
life finds a way.
No,
brings
not
a tear to
that. The whole chaos theory, right? And he's always using it to like try and get laid, basically.
Yes.
Which I think is shameful.
So the answer would be... Yeah, he's a mathematician that specialises in chaos. He even says he's a chaotician, if that's a real thing. But yes, he's a mathematician. Number 4, from the incredible Austin Powers series, Dr. Evil is a genuine doctor of something that he says in it. But he's a doctor of what?
He has a degree in evil.
He has a degree in evil medicine.
Evil medicine?
Yes, which I don't even know how that's a thing. Surely that's just giving people illnesses. Because he does say it, because remember when he's got the government on the phone, and someone says to him, "Oh, please, Mr. Evil," and he says, "Dr. Evil, I didn't spend 6 years at evil medical school to become Mr. Thank you very much." So therefore, he is a doctor of evil medicine.
Right. So yeah, I guess like you say, that would be taking people who are healthy and giving them a pill which makes them sick.
You would think, yeah. But then it's contradiction, because medicine itself isn't necessarily to do with drugs, it's to do with curing. So, evil curing.
Splitting hairs. And I don't have many of those, so that's just unfair.
Okay, let's move on quickly before I make a joke. Okay, so, Dr. Moreau, from the island of Dr. Moreau, is a doctor of what?
Again, this is going to be a guess, but like just given the batshite crazy stuff that he does on the island, genetics? Because he's like mixing. No. Because he's like mixing humans and animals. Biology.
Okay. Well, he's a vivisectionist, so yeah, just say biology. Yeah. He's a vivisectionist.
Nailed it. First time, got it in one.
Because actually, he's technically a vivisectionist, which is a biologist that dissects things and finds out all about them like an anatomist. So yes, he's a doctor of biology.
And the character was a nutter, and then when they decided to do the remake, they brought in the biggest nutter of them. Have you heard any of the stories of? Marlon Brando.
Because Burt Lancaster was in the original one. You're talking about the remake with Val Kilmer. Hang on, who are you talking about? Because Val Kilmer and Marlon Brando were in the remake.
Marlon Brando was just crazy. He was a loon.
I haven't heard about that film, but he was crazy in like The Godfather and Apocalypse Now, wasn't he? He was just completely crazy to work with. But I didn't know about this film.
He always has this thing where he refuses to learn lines.
Right. Yes.
And so a lot of the time they will have to pin lines up, so they have like boards or whatever. I saw a clip of Superman, which is really good, which is he's walking by, he's doing a speech, someone's holding a board like behind the camera, and then he walks out of shot, at which point someone just passes him the next card, and he's walking and holding the card, just continuing to deliver the thing. And then as he's going to come back into shot, he passes the thing out to someone else again.
But was that his method, or was he just arrogant, like, I'm so good I don't even need the...
No, he just refused to learn lines.
Wow.
But yeah, and there's so many crazy stories. There's a movie about the making of the remake of that movie. I highly recommend it. But just as a little slice to entice people, the hats, or his whole wardrobe choice in that. Like, he's dressed in basically a white sheet.
It looks ridiculous.
And he's got a crazy hat. And he's covered in white cream. None of those were the choice of the director.
Get a picture
of the
that.
Costume department. He just literally decided to smother himself, just slather, cover himself in sun cream for no apparent reason.
Here we go. We've got a picture. Yeah.
So you got there's two hats. I want you to look up the next one in a second as well. So the first one is the fruit bowl hat.
Yeah.
You look at the hat that he's wearing. That's not a hat. It's a fruit bowl. And then later on, there's another scene where he just. So by the way, the director and everyone, they're like, "Could you take that off?" And he's just like, "No, I'm wearing this. This is part of the movie now." And later on, he just wears an ice bucket as a hat. And again, it was a prop.
But again, I genuinely just thought it was part of the costume.
No, it wasn't. It was just him. He was just like, I'm going to wear this. And people are like, could you not? And he's like, I'm Marlon Brando. I'm wearing it.
Well, deal with it.
Anyway, sorry. I am ranting away here.
Okay, so this brings us round to round 3, which is a bit of a silly round, Keith. But we like the silly rounds, don't we?
I like silly rounds.
This one is called Willem de Friend or Willem Dafoe.
Okay, so Mark, I have to say that is an amazing title. Like sometimes they're a bit short, but sometimes you knock it out of the park with that one.
So if you haven't already picked up on this, it's a play on Willem Dafoe, the actor, who we'll have a picture of, just to remind you if you don't know who he is. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to list 5 films that star Willem Dafoe. All you have to do is say whether he plays the good guy or the bad guy in the film. So is he Willem de Friend or Willem Dafoe? Let's crack on. So the first one is, mentioning it for the second time today, Spider-Man. He's in that, but is he Willem de Friend or Willem Dafoe? Number 2 is Wild at Heart. You remember that one? The one with Nicolas Cage, Laura Dern. Yep.
Right.
Willem de Friend or Willem Dafoe? Number 3, the Gene Hackman film Mississippi Burning. Good guy or bad guy? Number 4, the Grand Budapest Hotel. Willem Dafoe is in that, but is he friend or foe? And number 5.
What accent?
That was my Boston, my soprano accent. Yeah, that.
Hey, I'm walking here.
Well, okay. Number 5 is American Psycho. Willem Dafoe is in that, but does he play friend or foe? And no wishy-washy subjectivity, there's quite a clear answer. And you have to respect the answers.
I don't know. Controversial.
How do you think you got? I'll go through them again. So, Spider-Man, Wild at Heart, Mississippi Burning, Grand Budapest Hotel, and American Psycho. Was he Willem de Friend or Willem Dafoe? Let's go to the answers. So, now it's time for the answers for Willem de Friend or Willem Dafoe. Keith, did you write your answers down?
I didn't, but I'm storing them mentally.
You've got them up top.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I promise next time I'm actually going to keep a pen and paper because I don't actually know how well I did score-wise all in all until I watch it back afterwards.
Okay, right. That's fine. So, in the 5 films, all you have to do is say whether he was a good guy or the bad guy. So, let's jump straight into this. Spider-Man, Willem Dafoe.
Easy one. He was Willem Dafoe in that one.
Yes,
of course, Green Goblin.
He plays the Green Goblin. Yes.
With an amazing costume.
Terrible costume. Terrible costume.
Yeah. But in that costume, by the way, do you know when they did that movie, he refused to let anyone else wear the suit because he said only he could embody the character of Green Goblin like well enough. So he
really?
But he was like, but nobody else could get embody the character the way he could.
Wow, because it's such a hard character to embody, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's the same thing with
that came fresh
Anthony
from
Davis.
the Sarcasm Factory. Sorry.
There's a similar thing with Anthony Davis. You know, Davis? Have I got that right? The guy who does C-3PO. I'm pretty sure he's got like something in place where like basically nobody else can play C-3PO in anything because he says that
he's the only one that can
do it.
Yeah,
which is
arrogance,
ridiculous. Yeah, I'm sure there's loads of people out there who can do a perfect impression. Anyway, so derailing this again. Let's
number 2 is Wild at Heart. Willem de Friend or Willem Dafoe?
Right. So I have not seen the movie, but when you mentioned that Nicolas Cage is in it, I've seen clips of it, and I seem to recall him looking bonkers crazy.
Yes, he is
in that movie.
Definitely
His,
a bad guy.
Mouth is all messed up and
he has. He's a very, very horrible guy. Pretty much the worst kind of character you could ever imagine. So he is 100% the bad guy in that film. He's Willem Dafoe. So definitely the bad guy in that film. Number 3,
So,
Mississippi
two
Burning.
defoes. So, I'll come back to this later. So again,
Yes!
a classic movie. It seems great, but I haven't seen it. Sorry, Mark. But I'm gonna take an educated guess.
Because you remember
and
the
I'm gonna
film,
say,
yeah?
Yeah, I'm a very. I mean, it's kind of an iconic
Set in
film.
the deep
but,
south with the KKK, the FBI come to investigate. Is he...
Yeah, so I was really like, is he going to be a KKK guy?
or is he
gonna be a good guy?
okay?
Yeah, he's... So I'm going to go with he's okay. He's Willem Dafoe.
He is the FBI agent who saves the day.
Right.
So he is definitely the hero in that film. Number 4, the Grand Budapest Hotel.
I mean, you're tripping me up.
Mm.
You're making me look
Because it's
bad
not
here.
a film that you tend to associate with him, but he is in it, and he plays a character that is either good or bad.
He's in it.
He's not
and
playing
plays
himself.
a
He plays a
character.
character that's either good or bad, but which is it?
50-50. Do I have any coins? I do have a coin. Got a coin right here. Heads. Well, 100 he's good. Flower thing he's bad. Good, because that's what the coin
No,
decided.
he's a bad guy. He's an assassin.
Alright.
Yeah, he's the assassin in it, so he's yeah. And again, no subjectivity. He's the bad guy. And number 5, American Psycho.
Right, so, good guy, because
Yes.
he's the cop.
Who's trying
And
to
again, I see what you
catch-
mean, like, you could subjectively say, well, you know, the main
Yeah,
character,
because
right.
you know, it was actually was
but
Patrick
cop,
Bateman the
he's a
bad
good guy. He's
Yes,
yeah,
he's
trying to
the
solve murders and
police
stuff. He's
detective,
good.
so he is yes, undoubtedly the good guy in that film.
See,
What's that?
I thought you'd be committing suicide.
That's like a lightning
twice.
bolt to your head. Like a diamond bullet through the forehead. Oh, that's Marlon Brando, isn't it? Okay, so hope you all enjoyed that round. Now that brings us round to round 4, which is Hollywood Hootenanny. Hollywood Hootenanny. All I'm going to do is I'm going to list 5 famous parties from films. Parties or events from films. All you have to do is tell
Political
me...
parties?
Why did I not include a political part in there? All you have to do is tell me the film that it's from. That's all. Couldn't be easier. Okay, you ready, Keith? So,
I guess.
number 1 is Waynestock.
No pen.
If you were at Waynestock, which movie would you be in? And
I'm
be
guessing-
specific.
I mean, obvious, but I was going to say, I'm guessing, as a little caveat,
Yeah.
you're going to be
There's a couple to choose
Yeah.
from in this one. Number 2,
finicky with that
the
one, yeah.
Enchantment Under the Sea dance. If you were at the Enchantment Under the Sea dance, which movie would you be in? In fact, again, there's 2.
Wait, what? Yeah, no,
Yes.
there is 2. Yeah,
And we've got all this time, and I still
yeah,
haven't done my
there's
Back
2.
to the Future 3 round. We're going to come to that. Okay, number 3, if you were at the Catalina Wine Mixer. The Catalina Wine Mixer. Which movie would you be in? You must know this, Keith. We've mentioned it before.
I mean, it rings a bell. Moving swiftly on.
Number 4, if you were at the Aspen Snow Owl Benefit.
On lockdown. Again,
What's that
I don't
mean?
know what's going on with the double guns.
Yeah, you're pointing to your head, right.
It just means got it. No, it just means I got the answer.
Okay, the Snow Owl Benefit, yeah.
Like I'm owning this.
Okay,
shit
yeah,
now.
you should know that one. Number 5, if you were at the party hosted by Gary, Wyatt, and Lisa, which film would you be in? And it's one hell of a party.
Nice.
Oh, do you know it?
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite.
This was the
movies
one
when
I
was a
thought
kid,
might
man.
catch you out, actually. Yeah.
Really? No.
There was between 2 that I was going for, and I thought,
That
nah, this
movie.
one's going to get him. Really?
Right. Oh.
Well, don't count your
Love
chickens
that
just yet, Keith, because it's time for the answers. Welcome back for the answers to Hollywood Hootenanny. You seem quite confident with that round, Keith.
I think I killed it in that one.
5 out of 5?
No, sorry, there's one. There's one that I should know, but I didn't know. But I feel, do you know what? I feel like maybe you were pandering to me in that one, because you just selected a bunch of movies and I'm like, oh no, actually, sorry, you didn't know the final one was... Alright, okay, never mind. But yeah.
Okay, so, number 1 was Wayne Stock. If you were at Wayne Stock, which movie would you be in? Be specific.
Wayne's World 2.
Wayne's World 2,
excellent.
Yes.
Party time, excellent.
Number 2 would be... Number 2 is The Enchantment Under the Sea dance. Which movie, or maybe 2 movies, would you be in if you were in The Enchantment Under the Sea dance?
So that's going to be Back to the Future 1 and 2.
Yes, because
and
he does go back to that in the second one, doesn't he?
Something like, your kids will love it? Your kids will...
Yes, yeah, kind of guess you guys aren't ready for that yet, but your kids are going to love it.
Right, that's it.
Yes, with his rock and roll. So that was Back to the Future 1 or 2. Still haven't done my Back to the Future 3 rant yet, have I? So you got that to look forward to, Keith.
Yeah, I really.
So if the big...
You can do that after I did that. You can.
Yeah.
Keith has left the chat.
Okay, so number 3, if you're at the Catalina wine mixer.
See, this is the one that I feel like I should know and I don't. And it's from like a fairly iconic comedy thing. I feel
It is.
I'm gonna say old school, but I can't remember at what point in the movie they would have had.
No, it's Step Brothers.
Party. There was the link. It was the old Will Ferrell link.
Yes, yeah.
Confusing my brains.
They go to the Catalina wine mixer. Number 4, the Aspen Snow Owl benefit.
Oh, that one's easy. Because again, right up there amongst my favourite movies of all time, Dumb and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber, yes. When they shoot the snow owl, the endangered snow owl, with the cork.
The cork.
Yes, they do.
Cork, yeah. These guys are professionals. Yeah. But by the way, you know the hotel where that was shot? As in where the set, where that they used for it. That was the actual hotel which inspired Stephen King to write The Shining. So, like, what happened is, like,
the Overlook Hotel.
Yeah, so he went there and he saw that hotel in real life. Yeah. And then he said that he thought it was, like, freaky or whatever. And then, so he basically, that was what inspired the Overlook Hotel and was basically the kernel of the story of The Shining.
Interesting. So it wasn't actually the same hotel, but it was inspired.
Yeah. So, because, like, no, because even the location in the book, do you know what, Mark? I don't know. Does he say the location in the book? Because, I mean, in the movie...
An uncle of mine lives in Seattle, and he said there the views are just incredible, and there are a couple of hotels just like the Overlook Hotel. So I don't know if it's where they filmed it, but literally like on the top of on a mountain, and it's just incredible because all around there, it's amazing. It's like where the place where you used to live, where I came to visit you, where it's just mountains and everything, just indescribable views.
Yeah, indescribable. Again, sorry.
Yeah.
English teacher, pardon me. Indescribable. That's an adjective. You're describing something. You're describing something as indescribable.
An adjective is a descriptive word, and indescribable is a descriptive. Wow. Okay. Wow. I've got a lot to think about.
Yeah, people are learning stuff here.
It's like one of their words. You know how when people say like, "Oh, why is abbreviation such a long word? Why is monosyllabic have so many syllables? Yeah. Why is dyslexia so hard to spell?" The word phonetic.
Why does Lisp have an S?
Not laughing at people with Lisp, but
just the word. Yeah.
But then I always think the word phonetic isn't spelled how you think it would be spelled.
Yeah.
It has a PH at the start. That's not phonetic, is it?
Mental, and that's what everybody tuned in for.
Yes. Keith and Mark's English lessons. Okay, so number 5 of this round was Gary, Wyatt and Lisa hold a party. Which movie?
So sorry, was that the actual name? Was there a name for that party? I mean, I'm just guessing because of the name of those characters.
No. She does mention it in it when she's talking to to Gary's parents, and she says, "I've cooked up a nasty little soiree," and they're like, "Soiree," and he goes, "Party." Yeah, party. Yeah.
And then she freezes him.
Sex, drugs, rock and roll, dips, chips, chains, whips. Your basic high school orgy type thing is how she describes it. So.
Oh, it's classic. So the movie is Weird Science.
Of course, it's Weird Science.
So
yes.
good.
They're fantastic,
So
John Hughes films.
Do you remember
I have a fact for you about that film, Keith, Mr. Trivia Master.
Well, you're
The film is obviously about Gary and Wyatt, and they make the woman Lisa on their computer, and they call her Lisa. Do you know why she's called Lisa? They don't say in the film, but there is a reason.
I'm gonna stake a guess. So I don't know the answer for sure, but given the time that the movie was made, I'm gonna say it's because of the computer Steve Jobs was developing.
Oh,
the Lisa
son
computer.
of a
Yeah.
penis. That
Ooh,
wasn't
it's not just movie. It's not just movie
yes.
stuff.
Okay, you got that right. Yes, it was. It was because which one was it? It was the Apple something was called Lisa.
No, so what it was is they had the Apple computer.
Wow, talk about one-upmanship here, topping me.
Yeah.
I thought I hit you with some trivia. You're like,
no.
actually, Mark, let me top you with some trivia.
Well, no,
Go on.
because it's kind of funny. So basically, they then wanted to follow up with a computer creatively named the Apple II, and for whatever reason, Steve Jobs didn't like it, wasn't on board with it, so he was developing another computer within Apple called the Lisa, because he wanted to beat the Apple II. It's weird. It was like competition against themselves, and also. Extra bit of trivia, he named it after the daughter which he refused to acknowledge as his own.
Ooh, dark.
That's a sad note to leave it on.
Yeah.
Is that the end
Steve
of the round, or
Jobs.
is there more?
No, that was the end of the round, but wow, I didn't know that. Yeah, but the
Yeah, I
Apple
really
II
got
would have
the
been a
tone
bit
down
of a
there.
dull name, isn't it? They weren't really branching out. Apple. Yeah, like a tree.
I see what you
Apple
did there.
tree. Yeah, that was my Apple joke. In fact, I've got a second one. Never fart in an Apple store because I hear they don't have windows. Which brings us straight round to round 5, which is my favourite round of today's one, which is a simple one, Keith. It's a very simple one.
So it'll suit me.
It's basically a simple yes or no answer. We're ending it very easily. And it's called Fact or Fiction. So
wow,
let's go
brilliant
to
title.
Fact or Fiction.
I mean, the creativity. Sorry.
Welcome to
the
final round, which is Fact or
here,
Fiction.
we've gone from a round which is ingeniously titled William Defender, William Defoe, and we're ending on round. Sorry, I just said William. Yeah, William Defoe. And we're now ending. We're ending.
Yes, I know what you're going to say. Now I've just ended it with a simple Fact or Fiction one. Okay, so what I mean by Fact or Fiction is simply I'm going to list 5 films.
Well, Fact or Fiction?
Is it? Go on then, what do you think it's going to be?
You're going to say, is this true or not? I mean, you kind of gave it away.
You're kind of on the right lines, but it's a little more specific than that. I'm going to list 5 films. You have to tell me, are they based on a true story or not? So, is the film fact or fiction?
Right. I take it all back. It's
so
really
you were on the right
clever.
lines, but
you're a very smart person, Mark.
Okay, so the 5 films I'm going to list. Okay, are they based on a true story or not? So number 1 is The Pursuit of Happiness. Is that fact or fiction? Number 2 is the Brad Pitt and Jonah Hill film Moneyball. Ooh, fact or fiction? Number 3, a film that's come up a couple of times today, Apocalypse Now.
More Brando madness.
Oh, your face there, you looked like you were confused. Apocalypse Now, is it based on a true story or not? Good luck with that one. Number 4 is Castaway, the fantastic Tom Hanks film. Castaway, based on a true story or not? And number 5, the incredible 12 Years a Slave. Fact or fiction? Oh, see, you thought these were going to be easy.
Aren't they? Oh, is this a trick?
Okay,
is this a trick?
let me give you a clue here.
All.
No, okay, so let me be a bit more specific. 4 of them are based on true stories. 1 of them is completely made up from start to finish, and nothing about that is true. Let me just run through them again. So we've got The Pursuit of Happiness, Moneyball, Apocalypse Now, Castaway, and 12 Years a Slave. 4 of them are based on true stories. 1 of them is complete fiction. Let's go straight to the answers. So time for the answers to fact or fiction. So, Mr. Cocky Cockerson there. These films, Pursuit of Happiness, Moneyball, Apocalypse Now, Castaway, 12 Years a Slave. 4 of them are completely based on true stories. 1 of them is complete fiction. Let's go through them one by one. And you tell me, Keith. So, The Pursuit of Happiness.
So I'm stumped on this because I'm sure
the Will Smith film.
Stories.
Fact or fiction?
Mine is fact.
It is fact. Yep, based on Chris Gardner, who was a single parent, essentially homeless, and then got a fantastic job.
Could he really do the Rubik's Cube like that? First time,
apparently, yes. Apparently, Will Smith said he learned how to do a Rubik's Cube
because he knew. Smith, I mean the real guy. I mean, you can go on YouTube and you can learn how to do them in. Like, I can do them.
I can do them in 3 minutes. By the way, do you want me to? I won't do that. But no, Will Smith learned how to do the Rubik's Cube in about 5 minutes because he found out that Chris Gardner, the real Chris Gardner, could actually do a Rubik's Cube in 3 minutes, and he thought that was good. Okay, so the second one is Moneyball, the Brad Pitt film with Jonah Hill. Was that fact or fiction?
Fact, because isn't it around the whole coach and stuff?
Yes, it is.
I mean,
it's complete fact. Billy Bean, yeah,
not my forte.
Yeah. There was a book written about the real story of it by Michael Lewis, and it is all complete fact.
Right.
So number 3, Apocalypse Now. Fact or fiction? Are you going to start slagging off Marlon Brando again, or?
Yeah, any opportunity I get. It's not slagging him off, it's making fun of him. Any opportunity, I will take it. Because he was crazy in that one as well. Do you know what? Actually, I'm going to go with that one being the fiction, because I feel like it could be... I feel like there's something anonymous about soldiers in a war, etc. And especially in a war like that. So that's maybe it's like kind of almost like a collection of stories of people who.
Well, you're half right, but actually, no, it is based on a true story of a guy called Anthony Pashepny, I believe his name was, who was actually a military agent during the Vietnam War who went deep into the jungle and went insane, and they had to go and get him out.
Right.
So it was based on a true story. However, when you said about the collection, there was a book in 1899 by, I believe, Joseph Conrad called Hearts of Darkness, which at the start of Apocalypse Now it says based on the story Hearts of Darkness, which was about which was a complete fabrication of a guy who goes into the jungle and goes insane. But when they found out about this real life guy, Anthony, who went in and went insane, they thought, that's fun, isn't it? You know, life imitating art. So they made the film about him. So actually, it was based on a book, but it's also based on an actual true story of a real life guy. Okay, so number 4 was Castaway. Is it fact or fiction?
Wait, so far they've all been fact. We've established
they've all been fact.
I was on the ball.
So Castaway.
So Castaway, fact.
No, that's the one that's completely made up. It was just the...
You're completely made up. That's
fantastic Tom Hanks acting. No, it's completely made up. Apparently they said they took a lot of it from the stories of Robinson Crusoe and everything, but it was complete fiction.
But the way they shot it and everything...
Yeah, and they made him, when he came back... I hate to do it to you, Keith, but it was all made up. So, which of course means the fifth one, which was 12 Years a Slave, was fact. Solomon Northup, that was a complete fact. Incredibly and harrowingly so, it was a complete fact. Every single part of that was a true story. So the answer was Castaway was the work of fiction. All the others were based on true stories, or near enough. Which is kind of a thing they do these days, isn't it?
Yeah. No. So this is one thing that really bugs me about. So sometimes a lot of time now they say like,
there's only one thing. But go on.
I'm so glad this is new.
Right. But
No. The thing is, like how when they say the movie is based on a true story.
Yeah.
And then
or inspired by a true
true story. Yeah, and so taking it a step further. So I'm just assuming you've seen the movie Fargo.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So it starts off with like this thing. You know how like. Sorry, I'm gonna actually look for the exact words.
Because
they say this.
Yeah, because I think a lot of movies
say
do
this,
inspired by true events. It seems to be something that a lot of horror films do. And actually they're based very loosely, apart from I think one would be the story of Ed Gein, the serial killer who inspired Psycho, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Silence of the Lambs, and then of course all of their spin-offs as well. So Ed Gein was definitely based on a true story, but they tend to do it on a lot of films now and say inspired by true events, and it's not.
Kind of stupid how you're like, oh, so it's all based off the same story, but yet look how different Psycho and Chainsaw Massacre are.
Yeah, of course.
And they're both
Silence of the Lambs,
based off of the same thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this one really bugged me because I remember I also watched this series, and then I was really intrigued by a few things, and I'm googling it. Anyway, so before I get to that, I'm going to read...
Did you Google it, or did you go on to Google, then go on to Yahoo, then go on to Bing, then Lycos, then Ask Jeeves, and then get the answer?
And then I got it, yeah. So, the opening text on Fargo...
It tells the story, it's the true story.
So, first of all, in capital letters, this is a true story.
Yeah.
Period. Right? And then it carries on, and it says, the effects... Well, I'm...
You say period, we say full stop, go on.
Period, full stop, whatever. Potato, yogurt. Just leave me alone, alright? Aluminium. The events depicted in this film took place in Minnesota in 1987.
Yes.
At the request of the survivors, the names have been changed out of respect for the dead. The rest has been told exactly as it occurred.
Yeah.
Now that's not saying this is loosely based around... and something loosely inspired by real life events. It says this is a true story. The names have been changed. The rest has been told exactly as it occurred. When the actual fact of the matter is, it's complete fiction. None of that happened. None of that happened.
But they went to the trouble of making that whole thing, not just like inspired by true events.
Yeah.
They went to the whole...
They really have a paragraph, like really saying, this is...
Because like I say, a lot of horror films do it, and things like this, with like The Conjuring and all these sorts of things nowadays. Hostel as well, terrifyingly, was inspired by true events. But there is also a very famous horror film, actually one of the most famous horror franchises, that was based on a true story as well, loosely.
My Wedding Video? Oh, right.
No, dark. Do you know what it is? It's a film that I know your son likes. It's Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that's ridiculous.
You remembered that?
Freddy Krueger. Yeah, because remember, I came to visit you and I bought your son a Freddy Krueger glove.
That would be why you remembered it.
And yes, of course, the whole thing of Freddy Krueger, that's the made-up part. But Wes Craven was R.I.P. Was a psychologist, and part of his research was dealing with post-traumatic stress of soldiers. What he observed was that some of them had nightmares so terrifying they were convinced they were dying, and they would start trying to pull their own skin off. They would have horrible nightmares about napalm. They would actually wake up thinking they were dying of a heart attack or suffocating. So he had the idea when he became a filmmaker of imagine if your nightmares could actually kill you, and then he personified Freddy Krueger, who was actually based on a character which was based on a true story in Last House on the Left called Krug. And then he decided to make that into Krueger. So anyway.
So I would just like to take this opportunity to say thank you for watching, everyone, right? Because, right, Mark? And don't forget, if there's anything that you're like, how could they not talk about that? Or something that maybe like, you know, we were totally wrong about, let us know in the comments down below.
Feel free to chime
in our little
yes,
episode.
exactly. So hope you've had a lovely time. Hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have, and we really do hope to see you next week for another episode of Lights Camera Quiz.